I'm Jeff Philbin, and it's time for us to make your daily dinner decision easier than ever. Tonight, maybe we suggest you cook up a classic French fish dish as we're making Bouillabaisse, a seafood soup, and we're adding fabulous flavors with a Creole twist. Joining me in the Dinner DeeAs kitchen to share how he adds that Creole cook to the traditional French Bouillabaisse is Chef Joey Medine. Welcome
Chef,
to the Dinner DeeAs kitchen.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.
I am so excited to have you here because Chef Joey is not only sharing how he does this dish from start to finish, but how he brings in not just French, but African and Caribbean influences. And it's also a dish on the menu at Craft, the restaurant where he's the executive chef. And it's a bit of a cheat because he has easier access to seafood than any other restaurant, because when we say Craft is on the river, we literally mean it's on the river. Tell us a little bit about Craft.
That's correct. It's on the river. It's our culinary and cocktail river journey.
Okay.
So we offer a great menu, but yes, it's on the river.
It's on the river, meaning this is a boat. We're eating on a boat.
That's correct, Jeff.
Not just any boat, a multi-million-dollar boat that just gives you scenic views up and down the Hillsborough River.
That's correct.
Oh,
That's
come
it.
on now. That's super cool. Now, today we're making
a Creole-Style Bouillabaisse.
Okay.
It's got some Creole influences to it.
I love it. And you've already started a little bit of cooking down and sweating some vegetables here. What do you have over here in the pan?
So in the pan, Jeff, what I have is extra virgin olive oil, and I started sweating some celery, onions, and peppers.
Okay.
That's the first step to the Creole-Style Bouillabaisse.
And so this has got its own level of a trinity behind it. Most people would
Correct.
think, okay, hey, I thought a trinity was going to have carrots and onions and celery. This trinity does not have those carrots. It's got the bell peppers. That's what helps make it a Creole-inspired trinity here?
Exactly right, Jeff.
Okay.
That's correct, yes.
Very cool. So we sweated those down. What do we need to do next?
So after we sweated this down for about 5 to 7 minutes, Jeff, we're gonna add on the chopped garlic.
Okay.
So we'll add the chopped garlic, and if you don't mind, can you help me out and maybe turn this up for me? I appreciate that,
I'd love
Jeff.
to.
Thank you. So we're gonna add the chopped garlic to it, stir that in. Then next, we're gonna have some dried pepper, cayenne, and paprika as well, and saffron.
Saffron. Now, saffron seems really exotic, really hard to find. Is it hard to find?
It's nowadays it's not.
Okay.
It used to back in the day, but now it's available in any specialty store.
But it's not cheap still either, though.
It's not. No, it's pretty expensive, but it adds a great flavor profile to the dish. Not only that, but the color as well brings out a lot of the color to the dish.
So it's worth it then for it being added to this dish?
Yes, definitely worth it.
And what else does saffron do for a dish?
Saffron dish obviously adds a flavor to it, but a lot of the color as well.
Okay.
You get broth, you can add it to a aioli, brings out a nice bright orange color to the aioli.
I mean, you could start seeing it already, starting to
Yes,
infuse already, and
correct.
taking so much of what was an opaque color and just bringing so much brown and just that reddish auburn hint behind it now, too. Love it.
So while that's getting worked in, Jeff,
Okay.
we're gonna add on dry bay leaf.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna go right in there. Then we have fresh herbs. We have fresh oregano and fresh thyme. You
Love
can
it.
use dry thyme as well. That's fine. But
You
I'm
could.
more on the fresh herbs as well.
Okay.
I always keep this at the house. So we'll add those herbs in. Stir that in. I like to keep my fresh herbs whole. So throw that in. And next, we're gonna add the liquid part of it, which will be our fire roasted tomatoes.
Okay.
Then we have a beautiful seafood stock that we made in-house.
Okay.
Right next to that, you have for white wine, we have tomato paste, some fresh chopped parsley, and lemon juice.
I love it. All of that sounds really accessible to find, but as someone at home, seafood stock. You're making it at the restaurant, you're having it.
Correct.
Could they use a vegetable stock too for this
Oh,
dish?
most definitely.
Okay.
A great vegetable stock available in any specialty store. You can
Very
use
cool.
that for a supplement. So while that's getting stirred, beautiful colors you see already, Jeff.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. And just the smells already are just beautiful.
Correct. So we're gonna add the fire roasted tomatoes.
Okay.
Stir that in. Then we're gonna have the seafood stock. Pour that right in there. White wine. So this is where all the liquid ingredients will go in. And it's gonna start simmering down for a good 25 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
So we add the tomato paste. And lastly, we have 2 more ingredients to add, which will be our chopped parsley and the lemon juice.
I love it.
Get that in there. And this is real simple to make at home as well. It's like one pot dish. Obviously, the mise en place work has to be done beforehand, which makes it easier for.
But it makes it easier for you. So
does.
you set up, and that way then, because you get to do the hard work then, the easy part now, because to have a beautiful bouillabaisse bubbling away on your stovetop tonight, you can grab Chef Joey's recipe at our website, dinnerdeas.com. And if you want, you can use your phone to scan the QR code we have in the corner of the screen and read along while we cook. So, lid goes on, we let this be, and you said about 20, 25 minutes right there, just
That's
to kind of
correct, Jeff.
let that reduce down, all those flavors meld together.
That's it.
Very
right.
cool. Now, you get the bounty of having fish all around you on craft, but how are you getting them onto the boat itself, and what fish are we working with when you do have them on the boat?
So I work with a great local fish purveyor. They're providing all types of fish, fresh, local caught, wild caught. So today, for example, we're going to use a nice red snapper
I love it,
for this, and as well as far as shellfish, we'll be using mussels and some white Gulf shrimp.
Oh, very cool. You want to get this started then?
Yeah,
Let's go
most
for
definitely. So we already have this pan heating up. Very important when you do sear a fish off, you preheat your pan for a good 5 minutes to get that nice sear on the fish, correct? So here we have a seasoning of white pepper and some salt.
Okay.
Sprinkling that on the skin first.
And it looks like you scored the skin as well. Why
That's
did you do
correct.
that?
So what happens if you don't score the skin, the fish, when you do drop it in, skid side down, it tends to curl up on you, where when you do score it, it leaves the fish flat and you get that nice crispy skin on top of it.
And you're going to have an even cook.
That's correct.
Very good.
So throw a little oil in here.
Now, if someone at home is like, hey, I don't like snapper, or I don't have access to snapper, could they use another type of a fish?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
A nice Florida grouper would be great as well. You can also use scallops.
Okay.
Scallops as well. Love a great scallop. So we lay down the snapper with the seasoning. We're going to let that brown up. We'll season it up, place side up.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Very good. Well, we're going to take a quick break while we finish up this fish. But when we come back, the French lessons continue as we reveal a recipe for a roulier. You can't say it, you can't spell it, but don't worry, my friends. All you need to know is that it's a spicy sauce and it's absolutely delicious. We'll show you how to make it ahead on Dinner Deals. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. We're bringing you bouillabaisse today. It's a classic French fish soup. And here to share how he does it, but with a little Creole kick, is Chef Joey Medine from Kraft, which, as we heard, is a restaurant with a difference because it's a multi-million-dollar river cruiser. That is just so cool already to think of, my friend. That is absolutely so cool. Before the break, we started our base for the soup, a broth we made by sauteing onions, bell peppers, celery, and garlic, then adding spices, smoked paprika, thyme, oregano, bay leaf, cayenne pepper, saffron, parsley, lemon juice, and finally, tomatoes, fish stock, white wine, and some tomato paste, which we left to simmer while we seared the first of the seafood that we're adding that you just pulled off the heat.
Correct.
That beautiful red snapper. Look at that color. Look at that crust, that skin side down. That really makes a difference.
It really does. That nice crispy texture to the skin. It does. And the presentation as well.
I absolutely love it. And speaking of the presentation, this is not all going at one time. There's more seafood that we have to do, but
that's correct.
It has to be a layered effect with all of our seafood going in. So what do we need to do next?
So next, after we put out the red snapper, after that beautiful color on it, we're going to use the same pan and we're going to throw in some Gulf shrimp. Again, this is shellfish and our mussels. Same pan. Then what we're going to do is we're going to cover up, and that's how we're going to finish off the shrimp and mussels. Get that steamed in there, so you still have the sear from the snapper in this as well. So that's an additional flavor that's going to be added to the shrimp and mussels.
And what are we looking for here?
I'll say about 5 minutes to cook the shrimp and the mussels.
Very nice. To cook up a Creole bouillabaisse for your dinner, grab the recipe from Chef Joey at our website, dinnerdeas.com. We have it ready to print, and you can even watch the episode over again. Just scan the QR code to find us with your phone. Now, this sauce that we're about to make was described by none other than Anthony Bourdain as the magical condiment, and I love Anthony Bourdain. I'm sure a lot of you at home do too. What was so magical about this dish? What are we making? What is it?
So it's basically
Time out. Say that one more time for those at home.
Roulier.
Say it.
Roulier.
How do you spell it?
Rouille.
Actually, that is
Did I
exactly.
spell- did I
You
spell it
did.
correctly? I did.
Spelling exactly.
Okay,
right.
okay,
All right.
am I spelling that?
Because so many people get kind of confused with it, but for all sense and purposes, is it just a fancy kind of aioli, a fancy mayo?
It's a fancy mayo.
That's
you
really
can put it
all
that
is.
way. Yes.
See, folks, sometimes we get so fancy with kitchen terms and everything. Stick to the basics. But it's not just that. We are going to make it from scratch, though.
Oh, most definitely.
So we're just not taking the Hellmans or the Dukes out and just going to kind of jazz
if you're cut
No,
on.
we got to do it the right way.
That's right.
All right,
Yes.
show us the way to do it, my friend.
So we're gonna leave that seafood right over here. The
Okay.
shrimp and mustard is cooking. So we're gonna take a couple of egg yolks.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll take some garlic. Not very much, unless you love garlic. I'm a garlic lover.
I am too.
Yeah, that's a lot of garlic though. So we'll take some Creole mustard. This is
Okay.
grain mustard with white wine. We'll put that in there, about a tablespoon.
Very nice.
And then some paprika, smoked paprika at that.
Okay.
We're gonna take that, take our whisk. We'll definitely whisk that up. Incorporate all these ingredients together. Once that's incorporated, what we do is we're gonna emulsify the oil into the ingredients.
Okay, very good. And what's that mean then?
So what that means is we're taking extra virgin olive oil and we're gonna make this into a Rie or a fancy mayo.
A fancy mayo, okay.
So a trick for me, what I do is I'll take this napkin, lay that down so I can actually whisk and pour at the same time and the
Very-
bowl's not.
So it gives you a little bit better control.
That's right.
Very nice, okay.
So in a steady stream, just whisking the oil, extra virgin olive oil.
Now, what's the trick? What's the trick to just doing this just right and getting that consistency that, you know, is what you want it to be, like that mayo kind of bite behind it there? What are you doing to make sure that you get it just right?
So the trick is just making sure that you emulsify the oil correctly so it's not a broken aioli at that. So that's already there. The consistency is pretty thick, but we're gonna add some other ingredients as well. So once that's done, you can see that. We're gonna add some Tabasco, Worcestershire sauce.
Okay.
I'm not gonna repeat that. I'm sorry.
All right, because I was going to ask you the next thing too. I was going to have you spell that one right there.
No,
but
no, don't
we're not doing that
ask
one. All
me.
right. You did already with the Rouillé very, very well. So we'll give you that one. All right.
Nice. So I'll take some Firestone peppers.
Okay.
Very mild red chili, small. Pour that in there. Some kosher salt.
Okay.
Some cracked black pepper. Here we go. Mix that in. Should be ready to go. And Jeff, this is just gonna add another layer of flavor to the bouillabaisse.
I love
Give
it.
that creaminess to it.
You know what? I got some tasting spoons over here. You want to try this one?
Of course.
I'm ready to go straight in. I want to.
There you go.
What should we be
bit of-
tasting for here?
So nice acidity to it. Got the extra virgin olive oil, the acidity to it, the Creole mustard. So that's gonna add that perfect balance to the Creole bouillabaisse.
What else could you use this for?
Oh, you can use that on spread for a sandwich.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's got good shelf life too. So if you were to make this in batch and want to keep it in the refrigerator, you should do that as well.
Yeah, definitely. It can last up to 5 to 7 days, easily.
I absolutely love it. With our Rouillé ready, we're ready to take a break. When we come back, how we bring the fish, the shellfish, and the broth all together for a distinctive idea for dinner ahead. Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. We're making a classic recipe today, a Creole-style bouillabaisse, which if you've never heard of it, is a classic French fish soup. The name comes from the southern French words for boil, bouillir, and simmer, abaissar. And the man who's boiled and simmered our spectacular soup today is Chef Joey Medine from Craft, a river cruising restaurant on the Hillsborough River. Before the break, we finished searing our snapper, then took it out of the pan to cook our shrimp and mussels. While we did that, we made a rouille, a sauce of egg yolks, garlic, chili pepper, mustard, paprika, hot sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and lemon juice, which for all sake and purposes, for those at home, a fancy mayo, a
That's
fancy
it.
aioli,
It's correct, Jeff. That's what it is, a fancy aioli.
but really, really good. All right, what's next? What do we need to do to take this dish to the next level?
So, elevating this dish, we finished the bouillabaisse. We have all of our seafood cooked off. So now what we're going to do is toast some French baguettes with
Okay.
some extra virgin olive oil and sear off some lemons.
Very good. Can I help you with this part?
Of course, most
Very good.
definitely.
All right, very good. So we've already oiled our bread over here. We're
Correct.
just going to go into a hot pan here. And then the lemons. What does the lemons do when you're getting that onto the grill here?
Well, it brings out more of the sweetness versus just having a straight lemon that's very acidic, obviously,
Okay.
correct? So you kind of just sweeten up the lemon, and elevates the dish as far as presentation goes.
Absolutely, it does. Plus, it smells really nice too.
It does,
It just gets
yeah.
that little hit of just that citrus in the air. Oh, come on now. Put one more there. I really like that smell for it.
Yeah, it's a great smell.
Now, I gotta
Definitely.
ask you, what's it been like, cooking inside a boat? Not just any boat, but a boat that just gives you views of the Hillsborough River. What's that like?
It's been phenomenal, but at times, Chef, I will say it has been challenging.
How so?
Challenging with space in general. I know we had a situation where we ran out of gas right in during service. So you imagine we're doing over 50 to 60 gas, and gas shuts off.
Whoa.
Yes, so they have to switch out the gas tanks and move on. So it does delay service.
Okay.
But it's part of it, working on the vessel.
I love
But it's fun.
That's really cool. Very, very cool. Now, what do we need to do while we're getting the bread kind of just toasted here, these lemons kind of just
Correct.
grilled here? What else is next?
So next, we're gonna plate this up. The bread is toasted and the lemons are searing off. So we're gonna take some Bouillabaisse and load it in and ladle it into the bowl.
Okay.
So I can start doing that.
Sounds good.
So be careful. Nice, robust, rich color to it.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful.
So we'll take, I'll say put this bowl here. Ladle it in. Put this over here. So next what I want to do is take some of the seafood, if you mind, Jeff. Can you pass me the tongs?
I certainly can, Chef.
Appreciate it. Thank you. So we'll take the snapper, put that right in the center,
Okay.
center of the plate. Then we'll take about, let's say 3 shrimp. Why not? Put that near the snapper, and then we'll take some mussels. I'm a huge fan of mussels.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely fantastic. Now, is that common for a bouillabaisse, these ingredients here?
Yes, they are. Like I said, the Creole twist on it, it's all the spices that we threw into it. What makes it Creole. So
If you want to make this for your dinner tonight, and you could, it's a really simple dish to make. Grab the recipe at our website, dinnerdeas.com. You can see this episode over again if you missed how we got this far. Just scan the QR code down there to find us. All right.
So we got the mussels, we have the snapper, we have the shrimp in the bowl with about 45 ounces of the broth on the bottom.
Okay.
And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the rouillet and actually put this on top of the fish.
Oh, lovely.
Just a dollop of it, not too much. Or you could put it around it as well, that's fine.
Very
It's
nice.
preference.
Very nice. All right.
How's that bread?
Bread is coming along nicely. It's getting a little bit of color here. Getting
Okay.
a nice little crust here.
Perfect.
Now, if you make this for your dinner, we want to see how it turned out. Take a photo before you eat it all and email it to dinnerdeas@fox.com. That's what our friend Mark did in Zephyr's Hills. Hey, Mark. He made the shrimp and coconut recipe shared by Chef Lee Aquino from Birch and Vine in St. Pete and said, I loved it. I put a little twist on it and served it on coconut rice and pineapple. That looks really good.
Looks tasty.
I mean,
It's
right on.
definitely.
Well
Try
done,
some of
Mark.
that.
All right, we got this bread
Nice.
here.
Looking good.
That's going to be absolutely fantastic. You ready to?
Yeah,
ready to put
sure.
this? Okay. This is
Yeah,
going to go straight in.
Straight in, right on
Okay.
the side of the boat. Perfect. Very comforting, you know.
Oh, look at this lemon.
Look at
tip.
that lemon, looks beautiful. I would say.
Where's
over
the
here,
spot?
Jeff.
The optimal spot, right there.
There you go.
That's the spot right there.
That's it. Beautiful.
Looks absolutely stunning, my friend. Look
Thank
at that
you.
work of art. When we come back, we'll taste another dish with a little twist. Our Creole-style bouillabaisse ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz. On the menu today, a Creole-style bouillabaisse. And to save you firing up Duolingo, it's a French fish soup and brought to us by Chef Joey Medine from Craft, Tampa's only river cruising restaurant. My friend, this is absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
And to think that you are cooking this on a boat that goes up and
That's
down
it.
the Hillsborough River.
That's it.
Come
we get
on
it
now.
done.
I absolutely love it. Where do we begin?
Oh, you start with the snapper.
You go straight in for the
You
snapper?
Go in for the snapper.
All right.
Get a little bit of the broth.
And I got just a little bit of that rouillet on my side here because I want to taste all of that with that beautiful base here. Oh, yeah.
Tons of flavor going on with the rouillet, the broth itself, obviously the snapper. Can't forget the baguette.
The baguette is just there to like absorb everything. It's like that little bit to like,
Correct.
you know, we literally would be licking the plate with that one right there. That's the
Exactly.
whole like scraping
That's
it
the
off.
purpose.
You know, because it's a unique dish too. This bouillabaisse, like you think like, okay, it's, you know, a seafood stew, so let me put everything all at the same time. No, everything was methodically cooked at its different level to get that optimal, you know, result. The shrimp, let's go in for that part, is not going to be something that's going to be, you know, too firm. The mussels cooking, so that way then it could just steam a little bit. And then that beautiful presentation that we already went right into with that level of crust from our snapper. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So for those at home that don't know the difference, but you know, this is a Creole-style bouillabaisse.
Correct.
What's the difference between a traditional French bouillabaisse to what we just kind of did here?
Well, traditional French is very clean on the palate, where you don't have all that spiciness that we added for the Creole style. But very similar. Very, very good.
I absolutely love it. It's a fun dish. It's a beautiful dish. It's a simple dish. And it's something that just takes what could have been a seafood stew to a new level with its heightened presentation and just the way that you brought this together. My friend, this is an absolute showstopper.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you
that.
to Chef Joey Medine. Grab his recipe to make your own Creole-style bouillabaisse at dinnerdeas.com, where we also have a link to find out more about craft. I'm Jeff Philbin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time for more Dinner Dias.